Gosh, I can't believe I'm here. It has been a long journey. Of course, the 18 days of crossing from Porbandar to here. But for me personally, it is a journey that goes back a very long way. It's 5 years from the time we came up with the concept, came up with then the design. I have many friends here who helped me with that design. There is Commander Hemant who helped me design it. Captain Saleh right here who had done a similar journey with the Jewel of Muscat. Please give them a round of applause. Who helped me sort of design this. Then of course I must thank the Ministry of Culture and the Indian Navy for then coming together to sort of put this project together, put the finances, put the logistics and so on. And then it took us some years to, of course, build it. Having built it, we put it in the water about a year ago, and then it was taken into the Navy as INSV Kaundinya. The name, by the way, has some significance. Kaundinya is the first Indian mariner of whom we know of by name. He sailed from somewhere on our eastern coast, so not this way but the other way, to Vietnam, what is now Vietnam and Cambodia. He married a local princess and set up a kingdom there. Unfortunately, he's almost forgotten in India, but he's a very big figure in the history of Cambodia. So we thought we will name him after the earliest known Indian mariner that we know of by name. But of course, the history of Indian shipping doesn't just go back to the time of this ship, which is about from the period of the Gupta period, 1500 years ago. It's directly inspired by a painting in the Ajanta caves, but also by other information that I gathered along the way, coins from the Satvahana period about 2000 years ago, a book called the Yukti Kalpataru from about 1200 years ago, and many other sources as well. And that allowed us to envision what a ship stitched together from that period may have looked like. But then actually building it was quite an experience. And thankfully we had the help of a traditional shipwright called Babu Sankaran, who remembered how his ancestors had put it together. Even he didn't fully know, but there was the advantage that he had been a part of the Jewel of Muscat team. So he had had one round of experience. So we brought him into the team. And so he really was helpful. And then of course we got the entire Indian Navy sort of backing us in a way. I must say I really am grateful to all of you. So all of you over there, thank you. You were real support. And then came the minor issue of sailing it. When we built it, most people assumed that the plan was to simply, build it, maybe sail it a little bit and put it in a museum. But then, what would be the fun of that? So we decided that we were going to attempt to sail it along some of the traditional routes that they sailed. So some of them were towards the west and some to the east. So while we were thinking about this, His Majesty the Sultan of Oman was visiting Delhi about 2 years ago, and in the joint communique, His Majesty and our Honorable Prime Minister put together a passing paragraph which mentioned that this stitch ship project was going to do its maiden voyage to Oman. So that was it. We took it up as a challenge, and it is absolutely something that makes sense, because in fact this ship is of course from 1600 years ago, but you have to remember that India and Oman have been trading for at least 5,000 years. Some of the oldest findings in Oman, for example, are from the Harappan cities. There are beads, there is a comb, by the way, and all kinds of other things. And what were they importing? What were the Indians importing on the other side? Well, they were importing copper. And if you go into the mountains just behind us, even further out, there are these beehive sort of conical structures out in the desert, which were his ancient copper mines that the then Omanis were mining. And it's always been a mystery who they were trading with, but of course they were trading with the Indians, because a lot of Indian products have been found in and around some of those copper mines. So this is a very, very old relationship, so it makes absolute sense that when we built an ancient ship, we should be right here. Then we did several months of training and trials to make sure the ship was shipworthy, and a team of absolutely amazing 17 men came together under the leadership of Captain Vikas. Where are you? There you are. And we trained and trained and trained. And then on the 29th of December, 2025, we set sail from Porbandar. Our original plan, by the way, was to attempt to do this from not from Porbandar, but further on north from Mandvi. So we actually did a survey of Mandvi, but modern Mandvi has a lot of sandbars which didn't exist in ancient times, and we were not entirely confident that with a sailing boat we'd be able to make the zigzag for that. So we then chose Porbandar, which is more open to the clear sea. But then we set sail and the winds were blowing very hard towards us from the west. So for the first 2-3 days, we just couldn't move westward. So we were actually forced to go north. And we kept going north. And interestingly, we ended up just outside Mandvi. So we did eventually do Mandvi to Muscat after all. And then we then the winds changed. The winds changed from northeast. This is the kind of wind we wanted. And the ship really performed. We had thought that maybe in good conditions it could do maybe 2-3 knots, but we discovered that this boat is easily able to do 4 knots in good conditions. In good conditions, of course, it came with the downside that it rolls a lot. So you really roll a lot, and I can assure you that I'm feeling kind of strange being on something that is flat right now, because it rolls a lot, but it really moves forward fast. So we managed to make up time. There were periods of lulls along the way, but 18 days later, we are right here in Muscat and to this wonderful reception. Thank you very much.